This is the multi-class round. It's been a really popular class of races this season. We usually did the GT3, GT4, but we've introduced the multi-class, and it's become really popular. So we are here for round 5. We have come right across the other side of the world to Australia, to New South Wales, and to a little town called Bathurst, and we've gone halfway up the mountain. It's Mt Panorama, to be precise, where most of the racetrack is. Fantastic racetrack, so really looking forward to this one. We're going to go down the grid in a second. We've got about 11 guys on the grid, which is a great turnout. But just before we do, I do want to introduce a very special guest we've got joining me in the studio for the comms. And I've dragged him away from the cars because he is one of the drivers, and it's John, better known to us as Big Mac or Ruthless Rufus. Are you there, John? That's all right, mate. That's all right. Yeah, good to have you, and hopefully as we go around, John can answer a few questions, give us a bit of an insight into like a driver's eye view, especially around this track. So we will get this race underway. It is a 50-minute race. Is it 50 minutes or an hour, John? I can't remember now. 60. I don't know why I think it's 50 minutes. I think I say it every single week. It's a 60-minute race. All compound tyres have to be used unless the wet stuff comes, and obviously if that comes along, then it's intermediates or wets. There is no rain schedule because we're in Australia, and I don't think it ever rains in Australia. So as I say, all compound tyres have to be used. But let's have a look down the grid, shall we? Now, one thing I have noticed on this as we do the grid walk, they're not staggered, strangely enough. So you know, normally you get a grid that's staggered, but these aren't. So as you can see, in pole position we have Toten. Next to him is his arch rival Grasshopper. In third is Smoky Tom. In fourth is Cherry Bomb. Brian Moncani in fifth. The Big Mac himself in sixth. Nath in seventh. Then we've got Sunes in, I hope I say that right, in eighth. Then we've got a new driver to me. It's AMMS DTM Phaser. Well, for this race it's going to be Phaser because I'm not going through all that AMMS DTM thing. So it's Phaser, and welcome to Phaser, and he is very welcome as well. Great to see you. We've got Molepiece in 10th, and we've got Peter, and I know that's not his full name, but I call him Peter, down in 11th. So that's the grid. So if I can get out of this this view and back up to the main one, we'll get them lights out, get this race started, and we'll. Oh, see, look, I'm crap at these buttons. Too many buttons. So it's a good start for everybody, except for Nath, who has I don't know what Nath has decided. He's decided to have a spin around, and who's that's gone with him? Molepiece, I think, has decided to do exactly the same. We're going to have to go back and have a look what happened there. If the cameraman can catch it, I still didn't really catch that. So let's go on board. Oh. Ooh. You know what? I think I do apologise to keep going back, but I do think that Peter may have caught Molepiece. No, not Peter. Phaser, was it? Somebody did. I think somebody did. Not long. We're going to have one last look, and then we'll crack on, because it's always tough when at the beginning of the race. I think Nath has just put his foot down too hard. Oh yeah, it was. I think Nathan's just caught Phaser. Phaser in turn caught Molepiece. I see you've gone off in to dig some sand out. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's one person off in the sorry, it's 2 or more people in the first 2 laps, is it, or 5 minutes or something like that. Either way, Toten is off and running as he normally is as he goes up through the mountain, up into the top section of the mountain, the highest point of this track, through the S's, down into the dipper, this notorious part of the track. Very, very tricky section, and then through and round onto Forest Elbow, turn 18, through to 19, as we see Toten just make his way to turn 19, and then he's on to Conrad Straight. Now this is a massively long straight, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of speeds these Group 1 cars get. But about a third of the way down, there is a little chicane section called the Chase, which is designed to slow everybody down, and you can see the big sand trap there ahead of Toten. So if you don't get it right, that's where you end up. So let's have a look as Nath makes a move on Soonest. Now, I've said before, and I hope I'm right and I'm saying it, I say it every week, John, that the GT3 cars don't have to move out the way of the Group 1 cars. Is that right? Yeah, that's how I thought it was. I've said it for the last 4 weeks running, and I'm getting it right from the horse. John, I don't know if people know, but John actually hosts and created this race, so it's a big thanks to him for doing that. And what made you do it, John? Well, it's certainly been a popular race. I know we've had a lot of people viewing it, and the lobbies, you seem to be getting like good numbers in the lobbies. I mean, what we got today, 11? Okay. Yeah, we've seen Kebab Mans and we've seen Jabba racing on quite a few occasions. Good to see Brian Moncani in the lineup, and Smoky Tom returned. I think he was missing last week, so we're not going to miss him this week, are we? Look at the colour of that. Green like the snakes he keeps. Did you know that Smoky Tom is a reptilian keeper, if that's the correct I'm sure it's not. Yeah, if you want any snakes and lizards and all things slimy, then, well, they're not slimy, I know, but Smoky Tom's your man. He's trying to chase down Brian Moncani. We've got Cherry Bomb just sitting there behind as well. He's waiting for both of these to make a mistake. Cherry Bomb, it looks like he's got he's on the slipstream of Smoky Tom, so is he going to make a move? It looks like he is, although Smoky's hugging that inside line. Smoky Tom always starts on the harder tyre and work his way through to the softer compound, so it always seems to be a tactic it is, and it has paid off on many occasions as well, as Cherry Bomb moves past Smoky Tom and Brian Moncani to get himself into third. That was a fantastic move. I'm just going to nip back and have a quick look at that, because Cherry Bomb was actually behind Smoky Tom as we're heading towards Griffin's Bend, which is turn 2, and up into the mountain section. As you can see, he gets through Smoky Tom on the straight just before the first turn, tucks himself up there behind Brian. We're going up towards the cut-in through 5, 6 and 7, and it's there. Brian went a little bit wide, had a slight peck on the barrier, and Cherry Bomb thought, yeah, I'll have some of that, and goes through. Thank you very much. Great move from Cherry Bomb, especially there, very tight section of track. So let's have a drop down the order. Nath in 6 on his lonesome at the minute. I want to see Nath win a race. I can't tell you how bad I want to see Nath win. He does. Yeah. Yeah, a fantastic guy, Nathan. It will come one day. I shall be commentating and I shall be saying, "Oh, Nate's going to take the win." So yeah, I've got everything crossed for you, Nate, as I do every race you're in. Then we've got yourself down in 7th, trying to get back up onto the back of Nate. Then into the GT3 class. It does get a little bit confusing sometimes because he's showing 8th, but he's actually leading that class, although he's had a bit of a bumping session through there. It's not tricky, it's not easy, is it? It's very tricky, that mountain section. But on the straight there, Peter, he's not going to get close enough to Sooners to make a move at the minute. Molepiece down in 10. Didn't have the best of starts to this race, but he's got plenty of time to catch up. And then we've got Phaser. Is Phaser a new driver? He's new to me. Fantastic. Yeah, and well done to him. And you are very welcome, Phaser, and we hope to see a lot more of you as well. So back up to our current leader, Toten. We all know Toten. He is the fastest thing to come out of Hungary since anything. Yeah, lovely guy as well, Toten. I get on very well with Toten. As I say, he's a fantastic guy. He's great to practice with, if you can ever catch up with him. Grasshopper, another very fast driver. We know what Grasshopper's capable of. Did you know that Grasshopper, his daytime job, is actually a bush trimmer at a retirement home? He's been doing that a while, so yeah, well done to you, Grasshopper. Looks like he's trying to put a bit of pressure on Toten. These two tend to have the same kind of tactics as well, I've noticed. They'll both go out on the soft tyres, so it's sort of one watching the other. But these two are leading the way. I mean, you can see the gap already from Grasshopper back to Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb is another quick driver as well. I think he only joined sort of last season, did he? He's a very quick guy, Cherry Bomb. I've been following his career over the last season or so. So really looking forward to watching him, especially on the Sundays. But he seems to have got to grips with this GT1 car. What is it? It's the I've got it written down somewhere. Why can't they just give him a normal name? So he's down in 3rd. Smoky Tom in 4th. You're right, he is on the hard tyres, but he's doing well in 4th. On Smoky seems to do well. Doesn't matter what tyres he's got on. Oh, he's got by Brian Moncani as well, so we'd missed it, but Brian must have had a bit of a moment there. I mean, Brian is another very quick guy. We know him from the Wednesday Porsche League. He's leading that in League 2, so he does know his way around a track. Yeah. He probably would be, yeah, he's a very quick guy, but he must have had a bit of a moment, probably up through the mountain section, as everybody has. I'm sure by the end of this race these cars are going to be covered in battle scars, and not because they've bumped into each other either. It is up in the mountain section. Incidentally, the mountain section has actually got houses on it and factories. It is actually a public highway when there's racing's not on. It looks like somebody's hit the barrier there, look. So let's see if we can find anybody that's actually having a bit of a battle. There's Sooners in 8th. Looks like he's going very carefully through there. Not that he has to push it. There's nobody next to him, but he does look to be very wary of those barriers. Yeah. Well, they've just gone right, yeah, just before the Forest Elbow, through the S's, down the Dipper and towards Forest Elbow. We've just, excuse me, we've just seen Maltese get lapped by Toten and Grasshopper. This is where it becomes interesting as the faster guys catch up with the GT3s, and the GT3 guys tend to hold the faster guys up a little bit, which I'm sure Grasshopper enjoys because he can catch up with Toten a little bit, but then if they get in his way, he loses that momentum again, as we see Cherry Bomb flying past Phaser. So let's go up to Toten. Toten is just about to lap Souness. Souness sticking to his line as he should. Toten should make the pass before they get to Griffin's Bend. He does. Will Grasshopper though? So could Toten pull away from him a little bit more? Grasshopper's got to get by Souness. Has he done it? Just through 3-4 through the cut-in. Let's have a look. Grasshopper's through, yeah. He needed to get that done early because there's not a lot of overtaking room up here, is there? Absolutely. Well, let's have a look with. Let's go on board with Brian Moncani. Oh, it's Smokey! Look, every time I go on board with somebody decides to throw a wobbly. Now then, let's have a look. It's Smokey Tom. So he's round turn 2, Griffin's Bend. Now this is actually quite a tricky section. This 3-4 through the cut-in. So you've got this very left, it's a bit cambered, and there he goes. I think he was just a bit too keen on the noisy pedal, and that spun him round. That's unlucky. And then you do an Austin Powers there, backwards forwards. Come on, Smokey, that's it. He's off and running again. But oh, what's it? It's like the Austin Powers on the golf cart, isn't it? Come on, Smokey. He's got damage to the front bumper, damage to the back, damage to the front right wheel, so he's got to get that cleared. Now, I've said before, these cars fitted with the self-repair system. Very expensive system, but it does help these drivers out. They don't have to pit to get a repair. But Smokey Tom now down in 6th. So it is yourself in 5th, chasing Brian Moncani down. So let's go on board with yourself, and you can talk us through some of this this lap. How twitchy is this car? I mean, I can see you've got the traction control on, but is this car really twitchy? Is it very difficult to control? Okay, and is it one of these, a bit like the Formula 1 cars, the faster you go, the more grip you've got because of the downforce? Right. I think a lot of it is putting a bit of faith in the grip itself, isn't it? You've got to trust that if you turn that wheel, the car's going to turn as well. This is the highest section now. As we're coming through this bit, we're going through the parks. It's Sullivan Park, McPhillamy Park, down into the S's, down into this, the Dipper. Very easy to get it completely wrong through this section. As you can see, it is very narrow with the barriers. Then you're going through Forest Elbow, down to this little kink in the road as you turn 19, and then bang, you are there. Oof, nearly a bit of a bump there and you're on the Conrad straight, full throttle, foot to the floor. Right. Right. Well, let's have a look at this then. So we've got Peter and... Is that Mole Peter? I thought he'd gone into the pits. Has he gone in? He got the entry a bit wrong. Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at the fuel gauges and they are about out of fuel. Toten has got a little bit more. This is where it starts to hot up now. As people start to make their pit stops, we are now just approaching the 16-minute mark. So Toten, he's got a decent gap, a decent bit of breathing space, but as always, the Grasshopper is right up there with him. Grasshopper's not got a lot of fuel left. Toten must have been fuel saving. Grasshopper seems to have used a bit more of his fuel, so I would imagine he's probably going to do one more lap, and then he's going to come in. No, just to prove me wrong, he's come in now. So Toten has stayed out. He's going to try and extend that lead. I think Grasshopper's going to try and do the undercut. It'll be interesting to see if that works. We've got Cherry Bomb in third. He's looking a bit low on fuel, but is he going to risk it? No, he's not. He's worked it out. He needs some fuel, so in he comes. And this is where we're going to get everybody diving in now. Brian Moncani has really been saving fuel. You can see he's got about a quarter of a tank left. He's on the racing hard, so they're hardly touched. So let's have a look, see where Brian is going to come out. I think he may even take second position. Now, although it's showing he's in second, he's not past the pit exit yet. It's a bit of a strange... There you go. You can just see Grasshopper coming out. So Brian does go into second. Grasshopper drops to third. He's not changed his tyres. He's just put a full tank of fuel in. So that's a different strategy for Grasshopper. Then we've got yourself in fourth. You're not doing too bad on the fuel. You can see it's certainly getting darker as well. Well, the thing to remember, obviously, up in that, especially in the mountain section, there are no street lamps. You thought there would be, with it being a residential type of area, but the guys have only got the headlights. And if we go on board with Cherry Bomb, you can see what he can see, which is not a great deal. And I mean, it's not completely dark yet. It is a very, very tricky section of the track, and that's where the UFO is on the right. For those that don't know about that. Do you know about that? You apparently have to park up for about 10 minutes and then it appears, and so it's just all of a sudden it's got pitch black, hasn't it? Now this does become very difficult for us because all we're going to be looking at now is headlights, and you can see that Cherry Bomb's already been kissing barrier 2 or 3 times as he's gone round that section, and I'm not surprised. It's like driving down a country lane, isn't it? Now Smoky Tom sitting in 6th. He's still not pitted yet. He's still on the hard tyres. So let's just pop up. Toten, our race leader, has come into the pits. Now I'm just having a look. It looks like Brian Moncani. Toten, has Toten pitted? No, it's you that's pitted. Sorry, I do apologise. It's Toten's on the at the end of the Conrad Straight. No, I'm getting it wrong. He's just going into the mountains. I'm looking at the map in the corner, and it's upside down, isn't it? That's what threw me out. I'm just looking. I think, where the hell is it? No, it's the map's upside down to how I'm looking at. I've got my map in front of me the right way up. Never mind. So Toten out in front, although he's had a bit of a bump as well. You can see he's got front bumper damage. He's got Grasshopper now right up the chuff. So that's going to be interesting as they come out of Forest Elbow back onto the Conrad Straight. If Grasshopper can get close enough, he may be able to make a move on Toten. Now Toten has done exactly the same as Grasshopper. No, he hasn't. I was going to say Toten's not changed his tyres, but he has. Toten's come out on a fresh set of mediums and a full tank of fuel. Grasshopper not changed his tyres, so Grasshopper's still on the softs. Did get some fuel, so he should have an advantage. Toten's on colder tyres. Grasshopper's on the used warm softs. And who else is in there? That's Phaser. Phaser getting out of the way there. He didn't have to, but it was really good of him to do so. Let these two who are battling it out, let them go by. Now can Grasshopper, let's just stick with this for a second. We're going to see if Grasshopper can catch up with Toten on the mountain straight. Let's go on board with Grasshopper. You can just see in the top left there that Brian's pulled into the pit lane. No, Grasshopper couldn't get it. He couldn't get it done before Griffin's Bend, so he's going to have to sit there for. Oh, I thought they were going to be at a bit of a bump. Then you can see what's behind him. Absolutely nothing. So Grasshopper, you can tell he's got the better tyres on. It does look like Toten's struggling to get them tyres warmed up. So down through the S's, through the Big Dipper for the 12th time. We are just over the 21 minute, just approaching 22 minute mark. So we'll have a run down of the order while these two are having a bit of a fight. No, I'll tell you what, we'll stay with them because they are getting very close now onto the Conrad Straight. So I just want to see if Grasshopper can make a move on Toten before we get to the end of it. He's getting closer and closer and closer. I'm not sure he's going to get close enough before we hit the chase. No, he's not. So Grasshopper follows Toten down towards Murray's Corner. Has a bit of a cheeky look up the inside. Bit of a back end complaint there. Across the start finish line and into Hell Corner for the 13th time. So let's just have a quick run down there. We've got Cherry Bomb in third. We've got Brian Moncani carrying a 1 second penalty as well. That's not really going to affect his track position. So Brian now, he's out on the softs with a full tank of fuel. So let's see if Brian can catch Cherry Bomb up. I didn't have a look at Cherry Bomb. He's on the hard tyres, Cherry Bomb. And he's also on the grass. Oh, he's coming into the pits. They've got a cracking job, haven't they? Look, they don't look like they do anything. There's no rush in them, is there? For a pit crew. Yeah, I mean, for a pit crew, they don't. I mean, well, he's getting warmed up, and he's keen, but the rest of them. So we've got yourself out on the softs. So did you decide to stay on softs, or did you change? I didn't see what you'd done. So you just fueled up and left the tyres on, yeah. Smoky Tom, he's been in, he's now on the mediums. So we would expect Tom to start he's going to be catching up. I mean, there's a big difference. If you look at the map at the top right, and have a look where Big Mac is, and then have a look where Tom is. So that's I don't know what, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, I don't know. Yeah, that's a big old gap. That's a big old gap. But I'm sure Smokey can catch up. Then we've got Nath down in 7th. So that's your Group 1, and then we've got into the Group 3, the GT3s, however you want to say it. We've got Souness. He seems to be a very quick guy as well. Souness, new this season. He's in 8th or 1st. First in that class. Then we've got Peter. He's done well this season as well. Yeah, I think he's done well. He seems quite an accomplished driver. He seems quite steady. Then we've got Mole Piece just about to be lapped by Cherry Bomb. So Mole Piece, just you stick to your line. And then we've got Phaser. Well, this is as close as we're going to get to a battle, I think. We've got Phaser and Mole Piece. So Phaser's decided to go for the Beetle. I think that's a Marmite car, isn't it? You either love it or you hate it. Personally, I quite like it, but I do know a lot of people that absolutely hate it. It's yeah, it does seem a bit of a big old thing, doesn't it, to get round the track. But yeah, like I say, it's Marmite. You either like it or you don't. You can just see as Phaser gets out of your way. Yeah, has he let you by, or has he not? What are you two doing? Oh, now then, what happened there? Oh, I think there was a bit of a bump, wasn't there? But there was. I don't think you've got anywhere to go, to be fair. I think it was just a racing incident. I think you've got nowhere to go. He'd got nowhere to go. I mean, yeah, here we go. Austin Powers again. Now, I can see you've done the right thing to stop and let him have the place back. Very short-lived, I'm sure, because of the difference in the speed of cars. I think one of the main problems there, I think personally I might have carried on myself or gone a little bit further up the track, because faster guys coming through, and with a pair of you two parked up there passing notes to each other, it would have made it a bit difficult, but sorted itself out now. He got through, so that's Phaser up into the mountain section. It is pitch black, isn't it? I mean, what are them stewards looking for? They can't see anything, can they? I'm sure there's a few choice words being said under the visors of the helmets that these guys have got on in this pitch black wilderness that they're in. Oh no. Now we did miss it, but Grasshopper, I'm just going to go back just a little bit, see if we can find it. No. So Grasshopper has managed to get by Toten, which we thought he would anyway, because he's on the soft tyres. Toten has dropped to the mediums, although Grasshopper is going to have to pit before Toten does. Now it's been a few laps, so I would imagine Toten's tyres have warmed up. It's very difficult to tell here. I didn't know. I only found out last week. It's like every day's a school day. But on the little tyre indicator at the bottom left there, and this is for anybody watching as well, there is a ring around each tyre. It is very, very faint. But apparently if it's blue, it means the tyres are cold. And when it goes sort of a reddy orange, it means they're warmed up. I could just about make out the little ring around the tyres, but I could not tell you what colour they are. Yeah, it's there, and I only found out last week. Now I can see a little ring, but whether it changes colour, I don't know. So whoever told me might have been telling porky pies, but we shall see. I do keep trying to look, but I can't tell any difference. But anyway, Toten doing everything he can to keep up with Grasshopper, but as I say, I think Grasshopper's definitely going to have to pit before Toten does. I'm just looking at his tyres. You can see the rear, well, both rear tyres are about halfway down, and he's just approaching quarter tank of fuel. We've not hit the halfway mark yet. Toten is half a tank of fuel just under, and on a fresh set of mediums that have hardly got anywhere at all. So the cutback, the cutback didn't pay off for Grasshopper, but it did get him closer to Toten, and he's allowed him to take the lead. Brian Moncani, let's have a look now. The big gap back to Brian Moncani in third. I'm sure he won't be too bothered about that. What's going to be on his mind is keeping Cherry Bomb behind him. So Brian up into third, Cherry Bomb in fourth as the pair of them head up into the hills as they're going through Sulman Park up to the highest point of the track. Some great views from up there, obviously not now. Down through the Essex, through the Big Dipper. Well, the Dipper, not the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper's a ride, isn't it? I'm sure it's a what do they call it, a roller coaster ride, but anyway. So Brian Moncani and Cherry Bomb round Forest Elbow through turn 19 onto Conrad Straight. Now this is where they're going to plant their foot down, and Cherry Bomb's going to do everything he can to get in the slipstream of Brian. He's not going to get close enough now before they get to the chase where they have to slam the anchors on. But he does look like he's catching. He is gaining. Let's just have a look at the tyres. So Brian's on the softs and Cherry Bomb on the medium, but it did look like Cherry Bomb's catching as they head down towards Murray's Corner. He's definitely catching. So Cherry Bomb has got his eye fixed firmly on Brian Moncani's backside through Hell Corner and up onto the mountain straight for the 17th time. We are just over halfway as we see Nath has decided to come into the pits. Peter down in 8th. Now he's taken over from Souness, so I can only imagine that Souness came into the pits. He's got the hard tyres on. No, unless he's just changed his tyres. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, unless he's made a move on him. I tell you what, let's just go back a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, Peter has now taken up the lead of the GT3s, or the Group 3s. What do you call it, John? GT3s. We'll call it the slower cars. It's I mean I call it both GR3s, GT3s. It's I think they're both one and the same, aren't they? So Peter in 8th now, or in first position in that class. Souness in 9th or 2nd. Molepiece is in 10th, and Phaser in 11th. So is there just the 4 GT3s then? Yeah. That's a shame, but it is going to be a top 5 finish, isn't it, for them? So you've got to be pleased with that. I hope Phaser enjoyed himself out there. I know he's running in 11th at the minute, but he's still going, so I'm hoping he's enjoying himself, and we'll see him again next week. Be nice to see him in some of the other races as well. So back up to yellow flag now. Why have we got a yellow flag? Who has come off? I can't see anything there, to be honest. I couldn't see anything, so we'll keep going. And Grasshopper in first. It looks like he's coming up to lap Nath, if Nath lets him. Has he got by? I think Grasshopper's just got by, hasn't he? Oh, he has. As Nath, I thought Nath had gone onto the grass. Oh, is he not going to? Don't take Grasshopper out for whatever you do. Nath has found himself onto the grass there. Let's have a look, see if we can find him. That was very, very close. I don't know how we missed. Let's just follow this down again. So we're on board with Nath. That's Grasshopper just going by. You can see Nath got his wheels on the grass, and then this bit here is like, how did he miss him there? That was a great, what do they call it? Well, a great manoeuvre just to get out of the way on Nath's part, so well done to him. Although, I'm going to say, although Toten managed to take the lead, but Grasshopper's come into the pits. We said he would. We actually got one bit right, so Grasshopper's come into the pits. Toten stayed out. with just under a quarter of a tank, but those medium tyres don't look like there's any wear on there at all, so he will probably come in, a bit of fuel, and back out without changing the tyres again. And I think these guys generally run the last sort of 3 or 4 laps on hards. So that's Toten in the pits now. Grasshopper's coming out. Brian Moncani is not going to get close enough to take second, so he's going to have to stick with third at the minute. Is Brian. Grasshopper's out now and back on track. Didn't take a lot of fuel on. He's only took about half, but he is on the hard tyres. So could his tactics be that he's going to come in for some soft tyres, because he's now used all 3 compounds, hasn't he? He's not used the mediums, so maybe his tactics are to come in, make another pit stop, chuck the mediums on, a quick splash of fuel, and make it to the end of the race, hoping that Toten is got a different kind of tactic going. So Toten on the mediums. He's not used the hards yet, has he? Now that'll be interesting then, if Toten goes on to the hard and Grasshopper's on the mediums. At the minute there is a distance not far off the mountain straight, sorry, the Conrad straight. So there is a bit of a gap between the 2 of them, but as you know, you're coming into the pits, that'll change everything. As we see Brian round Forest Elbow and on to the Conrad straight. In third, he's got Molepiece just in front of him, but he should be able to get by him relatively simply. Yeah. Cherry Bomb in fourth. He's going to have Molepiece in front of him very shortly. We can just see that yourself, you need to G your mechanics up as well. Look at him. I mean, who's that guy standing there just holding that pole? What a fantastic job they've got. So what was this, a complete fill-up? So is this to see you to the end of the race, or was your plan to come back in again? Right, and not get any more fuel. Do you think your fuel was going to last you, was it? So you're back out in 6th, so that's Smoky Tom through to 5th. Smoky just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. You can see the little the battery indicator there. It doesn't seem to fill up much, does it, during the race? So you can't recharge the battery. It's pretty useless, really, isn't it? Unless you drive around with the brake on. But Smoky Tom into 5th. Now let's have a look, see where he is compared to Cherry Bomb. He's not that far. So Cherry Bomb in 4th, and on the softs. That looks like a brand new set of softs as well, and a full tank of fuel. So I think he's planning to go quite deep into the race now. Brian Moncani on the softs. He's had a bit of a bump there. You can see he got front damage. But he's sitting in 3rd now. Toten into the pits. I think he's going to leave them tyres. He's got racing mediums on. Not even half a tank of fuel for Toten. Grasshopper's already gone through to 1st. So this race between those two is becoming very tactical. Yeah, the strategies are a bit different, but they always seem to be very bumper to bumper with each other. So Grasshopper is out. He's on racing hards with about a quarter tank of fuel. Toten is out. He's also on the hards. He's got a little bit more fuel, not a massive amount, but a bit more fuel. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with those two. Then we've got Brian Moncani. He's on the softs. He will have to pit for fuel shortly. He's just lapped Peter there. Then we've got Cherry Bomb on a brand new set of softs, it looks like, and a full tank of fuel, as we say, so he should be able to do quite a few more laps. That may get him a little bit closer to Brian. Smoky Tom down in 5th. He's definitely going to have to pit at the end of this lap, otherwise he is going to run out of fuel. We've got yourself now out on hards, full tank of fuel, so you're good to go for well, quite a few laps. I mean, you can almost make it to the end of the race, I presume. But as you got to stop for the tyres. Yeah, it's you just need one bump, and you've got to stop for 5 seconds or so. It makes a difference, does it? Now, let's just have a look. Grasshopper has come into the pit, so Toten has gone through and taken up the lead again. These two chopping and changing. So Grasshopper now, is he going to change them tyres? And how much fuel is he taking on board? So that's just over half then for Grasshopper. He may have worked out that that's the last stop he'll have to make. So Brian now through to 2nd, although he's going to have to pit at the end of this lap. So although he's in 2nd, he's not going to be there for very long. If Grasshopper doesn't take him on the track, he certainly will when he pulls into the pits. Let's have a look. Cherry Bomb having a bit of what's happened to Molepiece there. Molepiece seemed to be snaking all over the place there. And let's just have a look what happened to him. Now, was it just the fact that he'd got Cherry Bomb coming up behind him, so he's gone through the chase? Oh, he's got himself a bit squarely there. Yeah, and I think he's going to go into the pits again, probably coming in a little bit too hot. No, has he got through? Yeah, he's got through, he's okay. So that's Molepiece into the pits. We've got Sooners into the pits as well. Peter's still out on track. He's just coming up to the mountain section now. It's that dark, you can't even tell what car they're in. It sounds like a BMW. That seems to be quite a popular car this season. So Peter currently leading the GT3 race with Sooners in 9th, Molepiece in 10th, and Phaser in 11th. I'm just having a look at the gap there. Molepiece is in the pits. Let's have a look where Phaser is. He's just got, it looks like he's coming across the start finish line. Molepiece is out of the pits, but Phaser must have got a little bit closer to him. Yeah, Molepiece is on the mountain straight. He's getting blue flagged, so is that going to be? Yes, it is. It's our current race leader, Toten. Brian dived into the pits. We've got just coming up to 18 minutes of this race left. Getting very close to the point where everybody's actually made their final pit stop. Let's just go back up to our current race leader, Toten. I'm more interested in the gap back to Grasshopper, and that is quite a good gap. We're looking, what, 15 seconds, do you think? 10, 15 seconds? Oh, about 20, wow. Okay. So that's Grasshopper in 2nd then, behind Toten. Cherry Bomb in 3rd. That's quite a gap back to Cherry Bomb. As I say, I'm sure he'll take that 3rd podium spot if you give it to him now. Brian Moncani in 4th. He can see Cherry Bomb just ahead of him. Let's have a look. Cherry Bomb on the softs, Brian Moncani on the mediums. He's pretty good to go for the end of the race, really. Full tank of fuel, fresh set of tyres. Smoky Tom, he's now on the soft, so that surely will be his last stop. As I say, I do know Smoky likes to go for the harder tyres and then work his way down. So Smoky in 5th, yourself in 6th. Oh, we've got a penalty. What happened there? Track limits. So you're in the pits at the minute. Did you carry the penalty into the pit? Well, that says you did, liar. Well, actually, no, you didn't. Now that was it there? Because it was you did a bit of grass cutting, a bit of short cutting going into the pits, and then you've got the penalty as you come out. So it must have given you a half-second penalty for track limits entering the pit. Now, no, that's unusual. Normally you get a 3-second penalty, don't you, for pit lane infringements. Yeah. Yes, it would have been. It normally is for a pit lane, isn't it? But just going back to this, we can see Grasshopper has just gone across the start-finish line, and he is passing the pit lane now. Toten's still in the pits. So Grasshopper has now taken the lead ahead of Toten, who is now just coming out of the pits. So he's not that far behind Grasshopper. He is on the racing softs. Grasshopper's on the mediums. His fuel is going down. I mean, he's got 15 minutes, 16 minutes to go. Toten fuel, full tank of fuel. How far does a full tank get you? Can you remember, John? 10 or 11. So if these guys, I'm not even going to try and work it out. If they're doing 2-minute laps, that's lots of laps. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very interesting. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Cherry Bomb in 3rd. Now, has he got Brian Moncani for company yet? He has, almost. Brian, I think he's definitely catching as they enter the mountain section through. He is up onto the top to the highest point through Solomon and McFinley Park, through Skyline onto the S's, and then down in the dipper for Brian, trying desperately not to hit the barrier as he goes through here. Very easy done, as we've seen. I think just about everybody's hit the barrier at some point. Round Forest Elbow. Get that foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal all the way down Conrad Straight. So let's have a look. Where's Cherry Bomb? Cherry Bomb, it looks like he's just going through the chase. He is. So Brian will be able to see him. Oh yeah, I think it's probably, yeah, between 5 and 10. Yeah, I would agree, as he goes around Murray's corner and across the start finish line. Now, it's a bit of a strange track, this one, that the start finish, well, the start line is different to the finish line. It's one's at the back, one's at the front on this track, I believe. I believe the start line and the finish line are in different parts of the track, but still on the same straight. So let's have a run down then as Smoky Tom is battling with Nath. Oh, now then, oh, that's very close, isn't it? As the pair of them side by side through the chase. Is Nath? Yes, I thought I was going to say, is Nath going to let Smoky Tom through? And he has, but he put up a bit of a fight there, didn't he? Nice to see, and it was clean. So well done to the pair of them. I bet Smokey was like, get out of my way, but Nath's entitled to to race. So yourself down in 6, just behind Smoky Tom. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a bit strange seeing 6 and then 5th behind him, but yeah. Yeah, like you say, that the incident you had earlier didn't help at all. So let's just have a look at the GT3 guys. It's still Peter out in the lead. He's under no pressure whatsoever. He's got the whole of Conrad straight to himself. I'm sure he won't be complaining. So let's just go on board with Peter in a GT3 as he takes us around the track. It's not getting any lighter, is it? I mean, it's got to be, what, early hours of the morning? Well, this is the only lit up section of the track, isn't it? The start finish line. It's I mean, look, it's just blackness ahead. Hope there's no kangaroos jumping out in front. Absolutely nothing behind. So that's P2. We've got Souness in 9th. He's got Toten just coming up behind him, although he is on a straight, so yeah, Toten just flies straight by, which you would expect with the difference in power there. Molepiece in 10th, and Phaser in 11th. The only pressure these guys seem to come under is when they get lapped from the GR1 cars, so it's a shame with only the 4 of them being on track. It would be nice to get a few more on there so that they could have a bit of a race, but you know, life unfortunately gets in the way, doesn't it? Sometimes there are more important things than racing cars around tracks. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure there are some more important things than racing cars around tracks. So Phaser in 11th. He's going to get lapped. Is it going to be oh, it's going to be Molepiece. Oh, I was going to say he's going to get lapped, but yes, he is. It's Molepiece in 10th. Like I say, very confusing when you get the guy in 10th behind the guy in 11th. But yeah, he is. Molepiece looks like he's going to lap it. I love it when you see in the dark, you see the flames licking out the side of the cars. You see the brake disc glowing red hot. So back up to our current leader, Toten, with its Cherry Bomb in second. Now, what's happened there then? So, let me just go back. No, I can't go back that far. I apologise. So Grasshopper's in 3rd, Cherry Bomb is in 2nd. So did Grasshopper make a pit stop? Oh no. Well, I apologise, we missed that then, but Cherry Bomb's moved into 2nd, Grasshopper's in 3rd, and Grasshopper is all over Cherry Bomb. He's not happy, is he? He wants that 2nd podium spot back. So, and they're on the Conrad straight, so is Grasshopper going to get close enough to Cherry Bomb to take him? This is usually where the slipstream kicks in, just about that kink in the road, but he's not done it. He's not close enough. Oh, has he got him on the exit? No, I'm just going to come out because we've got Souness in the way. Maybe a bit of door bashing early doors there, but Grasshopper is still behind Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb doing a fantastic job at the minute. Oh, as Nath goes off, I think Nath was just trying to move out of everybody's way there. In fact, let's oh, sort yourself out. Let's go on board with Cherry Bomb as we're going into Griffin's Bend, up towards the cut-in, and that's what he's going to see. He doesn't really know who it is, he just knows there's some headlights in his rearview mirror. So up through the cut-in, Quarry Corner and Frog Hollow for Cherry Bomb, with Grasshopper in hot pursuit. Up to the top now, we've got Peter in the way. Now if Cherry Bomb can get by, he's thinking, oh, he's thinking hopefully Grasshopper will get held up, but he didn't. Grasshopper got through. Trying to be, oh no, I don't believe it. Now Cherry Bomb manages to get past Peter. Grasshopper also goes through. I think Cherry Bomb was kind of hoping he wouldn't. Oh, and Grasshopper goes off as well. Cherry Bomb makes a mistake, and Grasshopper's parked himself. What's happened there to Grasshopper? Has he had a disconnection? No. Yes. No. Oh, he's just waiting for the other guys to get by. So I think he's just gone in there too hot. As we see, he goes under this little bridge bit and he just can't, I don't think he can get it slowed down. He just rolls onto the grass. Right, and in the meantime, Cherry Bomb definitely had a kiss with Barry R, and he struggled to get going. So this was the bit where they went past Peter. Peter went off, yeah, we've seen that, onto the kitty litter. Grasshopper's already gone onto the grass, and this is where Cherry Bomb comes round and loses it just there. Bang. Gets it facing forwards very quickly. I was kind of expecting Grasshopper to come flying by then, and obviously didn't. So it is as it was. Oh, in the meantime, Toten's been allowed to get even further away. So Toten has taken Murray Corner and going across the start-finish line to start lap 29, just as Cherry Bomb and Grasshopper are on the Conrad Straight. Now there is a bit of a gap now between Cherry Bomb and Grasshopper after their little incidents up in the mountain section. Brian Moncani in the meantime in fourth has got a little bit closer. Smoky Tom still at the highest point and he's entering the dipper now. Then we've got yourself. You are just coming into the mountain section. Like you say, I mean, the thing is, it's bound to happen when you get the GT3. Oh dear, that was a big old whack, that was. I bet that hurt. A bit of whiplash from the back of that one. Down the dipper into the S's. And out through Conrad, and you've picked up a penalty as well. That's I mean, that is always painful. It's bad enough you've hit the barrier and then you pick up a penalty as well. It's like a proper kick when you're down, that is, isn't it? At least it's the Conrad Straight, you can get rid of that penalty, so it doesn't slow you down too much. It could be worse. So Nath in seventh, still going. Good on you, Nath, keep going, mate. Souness in eighth now. Souness has picked a penalty up as well. Now let's just have a look and see where. Now this is going to be interesting because Peter is not that far behind Souness and he's just been lapped. You can see Cherry Bomb's gone through. I'm just going to go back up. Brian's in third. I thought Cherry Bomb was third, wasn't he? Ah, wait, it's a pit. Yeah. Yeah, so Cherry Bomb has made an unscheduled pit stop then. That's allowed Brian through. So how close are they? Let's have a look. Where's Grasshopper? Right, Grasshopper is right in front of Brian. So I think Totem's pretty much wrapped this one up. The race is going to be for who's stepping on the highest part of the podium next then, because Brian does seem to be getting closer to Grasshopper. Let's just have a look at the tyres and fuel. Oh, it's Nath. He just seems to pop up, doesn't he, Nath? He's every corner you go on, he's just coming off the grass. He just appears. Now, Brian, surely he's got to get in the slipstream of Grasshopper now. Brian on the mediums, Grasshopper's on the soft, so Grasshopper will have the advantage tyre-wise, but that's only going to help him in the corners. So Grasshopper's got some defending to do. I think he's got to forget about catching up with Totem and taking that first spot away from him and concentrate on keeping Brian behind him. Otherwise, he's going to lose that second spot. So through the sections, I would imagine Grasshopper should be able to pull away a little bit from Brian, just through the fact that he's got the better tyres. But that's going to be an interesting finish. Let's just run down the order before we watch them. We've got Cherry Bomb in fourth now then, after that unscheduled stop. Smoky Tom in fifth. It's been a bit of a quiet race for Smoky Tom, really. He's not had many people to battle with. The same as yourself in sixth. It's difficult to concentrate, isn't it, when you're on your own and nobody to race against. It's all about it's just all about lap times then, really, isn't it? As Nath takes on Cherry Bomb. Nath obviously down in seventh and Cherry Bomb in fourth as Nath parks up again. I can't even see where he is on the track. It's that dark. He is. He's just coming round to the Murray corner, isn't he? Turn 23. Soonest the same. Down through Murray corner. Heading towards turn 1, which is actually called Hell Corner. I'm not sure why. It's not that bad a corner, really, is it? But so Soonest in 8th or 1st, depending on which class you're looking at. He's going to get lapped by Smoky Tom, but that shouldn't be a problem just there. We've got Peter not that far behind, actually, in 9th. He's just not quite close enough to get into the slipstream. I'm just trying to keep me on. Exactly, especially when you're going up into the mountain section, as we've seen already. Although it does only take a split second if Peter, I'm not going to say it because of the commentator's curse kicking in, but we all know what can happen. Yeah, we've only got a minute and a half to go, but we'll just stick with these guys just for a few turns, just to make sure that they get out of this this section in one piece. Peter really piling the pressure on now, isn't he? As they come towards Forest Elbow for probably their last time, and onto the Conrad Straight. Now Peter, is he in the slipstream? He does look very close. I'm going to have to leave this in a second and find out where Toten is, who is our current leader, and then it's a case of trying to find out who's actually going to cross the line. So maybe Smoky Tom. No, Smokey's going to get one more lap. So it's going to be, is it going to be yourself that finishes first? Nope. I'm just trying to see. Oh, who's that? No, it could be Toten. I think Toten is going to finish first unless he crosses the line. He's going to get another lap in. So he is going to get, Toten is going to get another lap in. So it will be yourself, I believe. Yeah, you're now heading down towards the chase for the last time in 6th position, down towards Murray's Corner. 30 lap race. I bet you was tired and in need of a coffee after this, were you not? So that's the Big Mac coming home in 6th. Then we've got Nath, who I'm trying to find out. Oh, here we go now. Look, I'm going to have to go back. As we see, Grasshopper managing to hold Brian off till the end. Brian put up a good fight though, so Grasshopper finishes 2nd. Brian comes in 3rd. It looks like Cherry Bomb's going to get 4th. Oh, it looks like he's on the grass as well. So it could be Molepiece who finishes next in 10th. Then it's going to be Cherry Bomb in 4th. Smokey is going to be 5th. Who's that with him? So Smokey's going to be 5th. I can't quite see who's in front of him. There's Toten. There's a bit of a bump over the line there for Molepiece and for Phaser. I'm trying to keep up with who's finishing and who's crossing the lines. So we're now following our leader. It will be Toten who's going to win this one. Again, it seems to be quite a common feature with these races that Toten is finishing in the top. I haven't got the league tables, unfortunately, so I will get them for next week. Well, that was Toten just pulling over, and that was good of him there. He's pulled over to let, I think it was Peter through. As he does, yes, I think you're right. He's managed to win with no fuel. As Nath comes flying through, so well done to Toten for finishing just on pure battery power. It looks like Peter's finished in 8th, although he's stopped. That's right, I was going to say he's run out of fuel. So Peter finished 8th. Fantastic racing. I must admit that was a great race to watch. It is this track always throws up some fantastic racing. Pity most of it was in the dark. Oh, high speed ring. What, the proper way round or reverse? Reverse at the high speed ring. So with the wet stuff, that is. There, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of pirouetting, shall we say. I think there will be a lot of that going up. So I'm really looking forward to that. John, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been great to have you here to share the comms and give a bit of insight into what's happening on track. Hopefully we can do this again another time. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. Remember, if you do like what you see, hit that like button, and if you can subscribe, it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. So from the both of us, it is goodbye, and we will catch you next week.